Your Comedy Minute YouTube Live number 76. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. David Snowden's here. Chris Young is here. We always start with the Webb Wilder credo: work hard, rock hard, eat hard, sleep hard, grow big. Wear a glass if you need them. 10,280 subscribers plus. 4.6 million views. Thank you to all, any of you that's watched any of them. 5,100 videos up. What bounces up and down at 60 miles an hour? Dead baby tied to a truck. Spain won the Women's World Cup last week. By the way, David and Chris, I hope the picture and sound are okay. I changed shirts right before we started. Okay, good. Spain won the Women's World Cup, the FIFA. And there's a guy named Luis Rubiales. I hope I pronounced his name right. Luis, right after the match was over, grabbed one of the women and went and kissed her right on the lips. So they wanted him to resign, and he was adamant, I'm not resigning. And today you're gone. And his mother now has started a hunger strike because she feels like they should treat her son better, and she wants the woman to tell the truth. And that's why I wanted to touch on a little bit, because when he kissed her, she didn't flinch at all. Not like when I kiss women. When I kiss women, I close my eyes. I don't get pepper spray in there. But she didn't flinch at all. I think, well, just so you know, initially I thought, okay, well, they're not, but they're charging him now, or they want to charge him with sexual assault. He kissed her. They want to charge him with sexual assault. But yeah, like I said, I think there's more to it. I think the way she didn't flinch, he kissed her before. I told this woman, I said, thank you for always being there for me. And I leaned in to kiss her, and she said, sir, could you just pay for your beer and leave? Debbie, how are you? Nice to have you here. I hope you're doing well. I love this story. This is, I have a few stories tonight, but this one I really love. Peggy Jones is from Texas, and Peggy was cutting her grass. And while she was cutting her grass, a snake fell from the sky, apparently fell from the sky, wrapped around her arm. Now, I don't know what's going on with the lawnmower, but the snake is around her arm, and it's pulling on her arm. And she's hollering for her husband. Why he's not cutting the grass, I don't know. But she's hollering for her husband. Meanwhile, a hawk comes down and starts trying to get the snake. This is no shit. Her arm is bleeding because the hawk apparently. I look up and Debbie wrote, "Great day." Not for Peggy Jones. It wasn't. Poor Peggy. I laughed my ass off. And like I said, why is she out cutting the grass hollering for her husband? But you talk, Debbie, you said you had a great day. This woman had a really bad day. A snake fell from the sky, wrapped around her arm, and then the hawk that apparently dropped the snake and started attacking her arm. I can't make it up that good. It's 20. Don't be sexist. Why isn't the husband cutting the grass equal rights? Chris, Debbie, And a wheelchair to myself. Good woman. Let's move on. Google's coming out with a new male version of Alexa. It's called Alex. It doesn't listen to anything you say. I saw this week, and both of these are true, 2 different TikTok trends. The first one is some kind of egg challenge. And I don't spend, because I don't have TikTok. I will never have TikTok. Never, ever in my life will I have TikTok. But apparently, while you're making breakfast for your child, you take the egg and you smash the egg onto the child's head. I'm not shitting you. I'm not. Just. And there's apparently several million views of people doing this. Instead of cracking the egg, they crack it on the head and then they put it in. Doctors are warning, don't do this, because it traumatizes your child, and you could be putting salmonella onto their forehead. But for me, I don't want that hair in my food. I don't know. I like I said, that I've yet to see one video, but apparently you just crack the egg right on their head. I had to take a sip of beer for this second one. The second TikTok challenge I saw, and this is true, 4 Kentucky teenagers were charged because the TikTok challenge is to go into school and tell your teacher that you have a bomb or a gun in your backpack. Now, why on earth would you go into school and tell the teacher that you have a gun? Or I'm not making it up. I'll say this. If you are contemplating as a teenager going to school and telling anyone in authority that you have a gun or a bomb in your backpack, it's not a good idea. Just don't. My girlfriend has this really annoying habit. She keeps breathing. Steve Harvey. I love this. Steve Harvey, Family Feud. Steve Harvey on Friday, I guess it was, tweeted or X'd. I'm not sure if he tweeted or he X'd something about, tell me a comedian that you don't think is funny. And hey, brother, nice to have you here. My brother's here. I'm gonna have a sip of beer. I'll have a sip of this. Eddie, it's nice to have you here. Thank you very much. I got it nice and big tonight. I can see each and every one of you. Chris Young just smiled. I have it nice and big. I love it when I can see what's going on. I can reel in the action. But Steve Harvey, and I really like Steve Harvey. As a matter of fact, when we get later on to the show, I'm going to tell you something about Steve Harvey. But Steve Harvey tweeted or X'd on Friday some of the extent of, tell me a comedian you don't think is funny. Well, over 1 million people saw this tweet or X, and I guess there was all kinds of comments, and finally Steve took it down. And Steve not only took it down, but later on Friday night, he put up a video and said, hey, look, whoa. I didn't do it. I have social media people. I have 2 or 3 social media people that do my posts, and I fired them. I said, don't, that was hurtful. That was hurtful. I can tell you a couple comedians I don't think are funny. I can tell you a couple of them. Me, start with me. But it, I don't, in other words, it's all objective. There's stuff Chris sends me that's not funny, and he loves it, or Eddie loves something and I don't love it, or I love something Eddie says that's crap. It's not funny. It's all subjective. So, I mean, I won't name names, but I just thought it was funny because according to Steve Harvey, he fired his social media people for posting something like, tell me a comedian you don't like. I'll tell you what I will do too. I really don't think Stephen Colbert is funny at all. He's a political guy. And Louis C.K., two that came to mind. I watched an hour special of Louis C.K. and I said, he's not funny. And I'll never watch another one. So Louis, and that's my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to that. Go screw yourselves. Whoa, yellow flag. Can't you see we got a goddamn situation, you asshole? People ask me how I sleep at night, knowing that, some people don't like me. With a fan, just with a fan on, I sleep real. I like this a lot. Human Dash and Scotty's here. Nice to have you here. I was just Halle Berry. What about Chris? Tell me what about Halle Berry? She's beautiful. I love Halle Berry. She just turned, I don't know how many years old. But anyway, I think that's funny. Andrea Smith, she's a professor at the University of California, Riverside. And Andrea is in charge of ethnic, let me make sure I get it right. Ethnic situations or ethnic things there at the school. Andrea has been lying to people for 15 years that she's Native American. Now, what I really find funny about this is that she's still going to keep her job through 2024 as the head of the Ethnics Committee, yet she lied. I'm like, she keep what you. Let's get the Redskins and the Indians back, for God's sakes. My girlfriend asked me, do you want to get married? I said, yeah. She said, when? I said, when I meet the right girl. I honestly think in my heart, the funniest stuff is stuff that really happens. In other words, I can sit here and do jokes and, write out a set list like this and prepare. But the funniest stuff that happens is real stuff. And I was sitting the other night and my phone, and I'm like, okay. And I got a message from someone I don't know on Instagram. And it's one of my reels. It's your Comedy Minute Quickie. I thought, okay, no words, nothing, just my reel sent to me by some stranger. Okay. He sent another one. And then another one. What is wrong with you, bud? Why do you keep sending me my own reels? Yesterday, he started sending me other people's reels. And that's when I thought, I'm going to go see who this critter is. It must be at least his profile. He only has one picture up. He's probably 70, 80 years old. He's got his two daughters. And I'm thinking, he's just trying to figure out how to work his phone or his computer. And he's sending me pictures, reels. I decided yesterday, after like 18 reels he sent me, to start sending my reels back to him. That's no shit. I thought, why not? Why not send my shit back to him? There you go, bud. Did you see this one? I went to dinner and my girlfriend spilled soup all over her dress. And she said, I look like a pig. And I said, yeah, and you got soup all over your dress. Last week, and again, this is true stuff, and I love the true stuff. I'm going to spend a little time tonight on the true stuff. Last week, I saw a story, and I decided not to do it because they didn't make an arrest. They haven't, so I couldn't actually do the story because all it is, the premise of the story. A woman in Cape May, New Jersey, took a skee ball. For any of you that don't know, a skee ball is like a little bowling ball. At an arcade, you roll it up and it's a skee ball. Like I said, it's like a little bowling ball. Well, she threw it and she hit a kid. And I think the kid's okay. And it happened in Cape May, New Jersey. And I mentioned it to Joe. I know, Human Tash. I know. So I didn't do the story, but I talked to Joe, who yesterday, Joe and I did a video. We talked earlier in the week, and I said, do you want to talk about the skee ball thing? And he said, and I said, what about the fish? What fish? I said, the fish that fell on the electric line. That's not true. I said, and I sent him the story. And if you don't know the story, it's Sayreville, New Jersey. Kind of like the woman that had the lawnmower and the snake fell from the sky. In Sayreville, New Jersey, a bird fell down onto the electric something or other and knocked out the power of 10,000 people or more, however many people. And it came from a bird that was flying over, and the bird dropped the fish down onto the electric thing. So yesterday I did my first, and I couldn't. I'm going to spend. I've already spent too much time on it, but I've never been more proud of anything I've done than I worked on my computer. I have this. What I'm working with here's a little Chromebook, but over there I have a old Lenovo ThinkPad. And I had to download Zoom. I had to get Zoom working, which that was jumping through. I spent an hour or so playing with, trying to figure it out, got the camera going. And finally, Joe and I got together yesterday. And he said, I want to do the fish. And we shot that video in one take. Because again, I'm trying to figure, okay, Joe, ready? And I did my very best to be like David Letterman, because Dave's my hero. I love David Letterman. And I got to be honest, if you haven't seen it, it is probably the funniest video. I laughed. I watched it 10 times because Joe he's like Jerry Lewis. He's the best. If I never make it, I pray Joe does, because I don't know if it's an act, but that last 45 seconds of what we did yesterday, and we did it in one take, was so comical. I mean, please watch it back. And the reason I'm spending so much time on it is because I now have the ability. I didn't think I had the ability to do it, but now I understand enough that Debbie or Human Tash and Scotty and I may do it this week. I hope. Just Zoom. You can send me a message, musicboyrecords@gmail.com. I started your Comedy Minute under the premise that you could send me a joke or you could do a minute or whatever. Now, all you got to do is send me an email or whatever, and we'll go to Zoom and I'll record it just like I did yesterday with Joe. I went to bed last night feeling like, man, we may finally have something. All the numbers and all the stuff I have going, that's great. But for the first time, I honestly thought this might actually work. Debbie, Human Tashin, anyone that wants, Chris, Alex wants to maybe do one. Again, a lot of people say they want to do it, but then when it comes down to brass tacks, I pray that Joe and I can do more, because just the syncopation yesterday, it was literally one click. Are you ready, Joe? Okay, Scott, okay. Click and bang, we did it. And it, like I said, I'll get off of this, but the funniest part of that video, and I knew it, I sent him the story. I said, Joe, did the fish live? Did the fish die? And to see him go off and act wacky as shit, oh my God, again, going back to what's funny, what's not funny. You guys may watch it and say, that's not funny at all. I laughed my ass off. I thought that was comedy gold. That was comedy gold. Let me take a second, put on my glasses and see what poor bird. Human Tashin says, poor bird. No, poor fish. Human Tashin. The fish dropped into the electric line. The bird was flying. And the other story, the bird came down and attacked the lady. You got it ass backwards, Human Tashin. Yeah, exactly. It's your comedy minute, Human Tashin. Debbie, it's your comedy minute. Chris, it's your comedy minute. My brother Ed, it's your comedy minute. All the people that aren't here that normally make it. David Snowden and Kimberly. Can't you see we got a damn situation? Kim likes it when I do that, so I did a bonus one just for Kim. I'm going to do 2 last jokes. Thank you all very much. And I didn't mean to belabor that point, but my brother Ed knows, because Ed and I speak almost every day. And for me to be able to figure that out, I'm 61. I just celebrated my 61st birthday. And to do this, to be able to give you a good, sound and picture, and hopefully make you laugh and tell you a story or two, that's all cool. But now to be able to say to Scotty in California, let's do it. And Scotty, you know what, Scotty, I'm going to dime you out here. Because we got a little time, and I'm going to dime you out here. This is really bad. Scotty, you may not want to do it after this. Scotty said to me, because we did one, it just wasn't, the picture wasn't right. I couldn't record it. And Scotty said, hey, before you go, did you hear that Russia sent up a rocket, and it crashed? And I thought to myself, okay, Scotty, you can talk about Mr. Putin. That's Scotty. Nostrovia, Comrade Putin. Look at what happened to Bogosian, man. Scotty, so when we do our thing, if you want to talk about Russia's thing crashing, I'll do these last 2 jokes. What's something that gets smaller and smaller? Baby shaving his head with a potato peeler. That's terrible. And this last one, what did I do? What do you mean, Debbie? What did you do? This last one's terrible. But you know what? I love it. Thank you all, Chris, Debbie, my brother, Human Tash, and anyone that watches it back, and anyone that wants to do a Zoom thing. I think everyone said you're always best, bouncing off. I would love to do more of those. I said to this woman, knock, knock. She said, who's there? I said, Dozer. She said, Dozer who? I said, those are the nicest tits I've seen in a long time. Okay. Long walk. What do you mean long walk, Human Tash? And tell me. I share in Michigan. Human Tash, I know what you mean by long walk. The looks I get. Why how many times I walk through and say that? Human welcome here. I'm just gonna. I'm not even. Who wants a bite of my grapes? Oh, Debbie. Debbie. Grapes, Scotty. Do you want to see my banana? Thank you all. As always, I had fun. I don't know if you did, and I'll see you Friday night, 7:30. Please, from bottom of my heart, if you like Chris or Debbie, if you want to do it, just let me know. I really think getting a Chris Young on there, getting a Debbie on there, getting a Human Tashin, getting Yellow Feet, getting people on there, and it's your comedy minute. Like I said, I've never felt better after what Joe and I did yesterday. And God, I think Joe, if I can hitch my wagon to Joe's store, Joe, I love you. You're the best. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.